In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a DSLR ring light. Because it's around the lens, it lights the subject in a really soft and flattering way. This can help give your footage a glamour look, and the creative possibilities are endless. To build one, you'll need 20 10-watt 32-volt LEDs. These are pretty inexpensive, and you can find a link to them in the description. You'll also need some paper clips, a set of pin connectors, some twin-stranded wire, a battery holder, a clear CD from the bottom of a stack of discs, or alternatively any old CD if you wish, and an old lens filter that's the right thread for your camera's lens. Additionally, you'll also need a voltage booster, a link to which is in the description. Tool-wise, you'll need a soldering iron and solder, pliers, a multimeter, wire cutters, glue, and a knife. Holding clips would be pretty helpful as well. So the first thing to do is to straighten out your paper clips with a pair of pliers. Once they're straightened, arrange your 20 LEDs in a circle and bend the paper clips so that they match the inside edge of your ring of LEDs. If done correctly, the inside edge should be just slightly smaller than the size of a CD. Once you've curved all your paper clips, you can then solder them together to create a ring. Note that not all paper clips are good for soldering, so if the solder isn't flowing on very easily, you may want to try a different brand. After checking that your ring is the correct size, you can start soldering the LEDs to it. LEDs need to be wired up the correct way around, so take a close look at the polarity markings on each bulb before you solder them on. The negative side is marked with a negative symbol, so solder its corresponding tab to the inner ring you just made. Do this for the remaining LEDs and you should have something that looks like this. Now it's time to make the outer paperclip ring, so straighten out some more paper clips and solder them to the outer edge. The ring needs to be able to screw on to the camera's lens, so take a lens filter of the right size and remove its inner element by unscrewing it. Using some blue tack to keep it from moving, place the now empty filter onto the centre of a CD and trace around it several times with a sharp knife. Once you've made a fairly heavy groove, flip it around and do the same to the other side, making sure that the groove is reasonably deep and that you don't slip. You should now be able to push out the inner part of the CD. If it doesn't come out easily, deepen the grooves and try again. Now insert the lens filter. If it's too tight of a fit, widen the hole using sandpaper until the lens filter slides in easily. You can now glue the filter permanently to the CD. Now make sure that you have the threaded side facing downwards. The threaded side is of course the bit that screws into the camera lens, and add some glue all around the outer edge. Now place the ring of LEDs onto this glue and squash it in place. Once it's all dry, solder two short lengths of wire to both the outer ring and the inner ring. Flip the light around so it's facing downwards and solder these two wires to the output of the voltage booster. Make sure you get the polarity correct or else the LEDs won't light up. Now solder the male pin connector to the input side of the voltage booster, with the red wire going to the positive terminal and the black wire going to the negative terminal. Now glue the voltage booster to the back of the CD. Whilst it dries, get your battery holder and extend its wires using a length of twinned cable. Use some electrical tape to wrap around the connections and to prevent them from shorting out. On the end of this extension, solder on the other pin connector, making sure that the red wire connects to the positive side of the battery pack. Again, add some tape to make sure that the wires don't short out. So now your battery pack should be looking like this. After putting some batteries in it, you can now hook it up to the light. Make sure you don't connect them the wrong way around, so red to red and black to black. Your LED should now light up, but if not, it might be because your voltage regulator is set to the wrong voltage, so rotate the variable resistor on the voltage booster until it reaches at least 24 volts. As the LEDs are designed to work with heat sinks, it's possible for them to overheat without them. So what you need to do is adjust the voltage so that the LEDs remain cool enough to touch. If you can't keep your fingers on them for 5 seconds, then the voltage is too high. So dial it down until you can keep your fingers on the LEDs for at least 10 seconds. For me, this value was 25 volts. So screw it onto your camera's lens, hook it up, put the battery in your pocket, and get shooting. So I hope you have fun making your own LED ring light. And if you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and maybe consider subscribing if you aren't subscribed already. In my next video, I'll be showing you how to make a super bright LED light panel. And this is daylight coloured as well, so that's a bonus. And obviously dimmable, as you just saw. And it really is bright, so I hope I see you in my next video where I'll be showing you how to build one. So yeah. That's that.